Good morning. Can you see my screen? Can somebody confirm and hear me?
Yes,
Okay. So, in the previous few classes, what we were discussing about convection diffusion problems and how to discretize them. Okay. And what we have seen is that there are different schemes to discretize the advective term. Okay, the advective term. So, the main issue was that for this advective term, when we discretize up to a certain point, we had seen that we get a equation like this: rho ue phi plus rho uw phi w equal to some diffusive terms. Source terms and unsteady terms may also be present. So how to find this phi e and phi w at these interfaces based on the grid point values for advection? That was the main difference between different schemes. Okay. So one scheme like the central difference scheme assume that at the interface, the value of phi is the average of the two adjacent grid point values, okay, like a mean value. But we found that that is not a very good approximation at high velocity. Then the upwind scheme found we used specified that the interface velocity only depends on the direction from which flow comes. Either it is the value of this left hand side grid point if the flow is from the left hand side, or it is the value of the right hand side grid point if the flow is from the right hand side. Like this we have seen one exponential scheme which actually gives the true value in the case of 1D convection diffusion, the exact value, true value in the convection diffusion equation. And we had seen some curves like this which actually shows how the variation of phi occurs from the left grid point to the right grid point. So in between, if you have an interface, say you have an interface at this point somewhere, so you can find the value at that interface. So based on these graphs and the interface values can be given based on this equation, exponential equation. Okay. So if the interface is halfway in between, you have to just take x to be xc. Like this, we have seen different cases, and two other cases we have seen which mimic the exponential scheme, but the computational efficiency is much higher. For example, the hybrid scheme, which mimics the exponential scheme by using three straight lines, okay, like one straight line going from minus infinity Peclet number to minus 2, second straight line going from minus 2 to plus 2, and third straight line going from plus 2 to infinity. Okay. So like this, we have derived the coefficient of the grid point phi e, but in similar way, phi coefficient of phi w can also be derived. Coefficient of phi is a, similarly coefficient of phi w will be aw, and that can also be derived. And finally, we have seen a very accurate scheme, which is called the power law scheme. And if you plot this, I suggest you try and plot this and compare this with the exponential scheme. You will see that the difference is very negligible. Even visually, it is difficult to see the difference between the two plots. Okay, so you can definitely try this and check this. So all these schemes and any other schemes, remember, these are not the only schemes. Okay, even you can derive a scheme, or I can derive a scheme. It is just a matter of like if we derive a scheme to mimic the actual exponential type of variation, how close we are obtaining the value, and whether it is robust or not, means it works in other cases or not, which are not 1D, where the exponential value is not exact solution, and how efficient it is, means how fast those schemes runs, how easy it is to implement. So like this, hundreds of schemes can be developed, but it has to be checked whether that works in all cases or not, or works in most cases. What are the limitations? Like this, people have derived other things also, other schemes also. So what we are going to do today is we are going to see for any scheme how to develop a generalized formulation, so that if we implement this generalized formulation or generalized discretized equation, then it does not matter to us what scheme we are using. We can replace some value very quickly. One line we can replace, and we can if we want to test 5 schemes, we can just replace one line for each scheme, and we can test those schemes. So all this the generalized equation we will derive in terms of Peclet number, like in terms of coefficients, which are parameters of Peclet number, which are functions of Peclet number, and then we will we can substitute those coefficients, as we will see later, for different schemes. For each scheme, it is some different function of Peclet number. So it's just a matter of substituting the coefficients. Okay. So let us try to understand this generalized convection diffusion equation today. Okay. Not generalized convection diffusion equation, the generalized convection diffusion discretized formulation. So for this case, again we will assume our standard grid structure P point. So here I have assumed that because if you want to write a program, you will write in terms of I and J. If it's a 1D grid, let us consider that the P point is the ith grid, the E point is the I plus 1th grid, and the waste point is the I minus 1th grid. So that you can just increase the I value in a loop, and the same thing can be calculated again and again for each control volume. Okay. So the interface between I and I plus 1, say it is I interface. Okay. And the flux through here, flux means both the flux of, means total flux. It includes the advective flux as well as the diffusive flux. Okay. So the total flux here is J. Flux is always calculated in the direction of coordinate axis. So if the coordinate axis goes with increasing values from left to right, flux is in this calculated in this direction J. Okay. So it can be positive or negative. If the actual flux is in the other direction, J will be negative. If the actual flux is in this direction only, J will be positive. And let the distance be delta between the two grid points. So what we are going to do is we are going to just see in non-dimensional form how to formulate a discretized equation. Okay. So this total flux J, remember what are the advective flux terms? Flow into the value phi at the interface. Okay. So rho u phi, this is the advective term, and the diffusive term is gamma d phi dx. Okay. Again at the interface, minus gamma d phi dx. So this J is general at any point. J at the interface, for J at the interface, you have to take the values at the interface. So we have derived this J, I think somewhere for the exponential scheme. Okay. J is the total flux, where J is defined as rho u phi minus gamma d phi dx. So that the 1D convection diffusion equation without source term and unsteady term can be written as dj dx equal to 0 only. Okay. In terms of, so what it means physically is that there is no change in flux in the x direction. Okay, for 1D convection diffusion, and that will be physically correct, because if there is no source term, additional flux cannot come in from anywhere. Additional material cannot come in. So flux has to be conserved. Means whatever comes from one side has to go out from the other side. So total, if it is flux of momentum flux, total flow rate has energy that is getting transferred from one side to the another side is getting conserved. So whatever is the parameter, the flux remains conserved. Okay, that is the thing. So J equal to rho u phi minus gamma d phi dx in non-dimensional form. So I can non-dimensionalize it by dividing rho u by the diffusive. Okay, so diffusive strength, remember, is gamma distance delta. Okay, gamma by distance delta. So to find non-dimensional flux J star, we will divide J by the diffusive strength gamma by delta. Okay, so J by gamma by delta. So it gives us rho u divided by gamma by delta phi minus d phi. So one gamma was there, gamma gets cancelled, and the delta goes down as dx by delta. So non-dimensional length. Okay, x by delta is the non-dimensional length. where x varies from I to I plus 1. So x by delta goes from 0 to 1. And this is the Peclet number. Rho u by gamma by delta is the Peclet number. So J star can be written as P phi minus d phi dx by delta. So this is in non-dimensional form. Both the terms are non-dimensional. Okay. And this is valid for any region. It interface, it is valid at any along any direction. So whatever is the value of x, if you put that, you will get the value of J star. So now at the interface, the value of this flux, okay, at the value of the flux at the interface, what is flux? So flux actually, the momentum flux depends on the interface value of the phi, right? The advective flux, not the momentum flux, sorry. Advective flux depends on the interface value of phi. So this will be some function, we don't know what function, but it is some function of the previous grid point and the next grid point, okay. And similarly, the diffusive flux is also driven by the gradient between these two grid points. So at the interface, some function like some difference of the ith grid point value and I plus 1th grid point value of phi. Okay. So the value of phi at the interface will be some weighted average of phi I and phi I plus 1. What is the weight for the average? That depends on the scheme. So for example, for central difference scheme, this point will be the average of these 2 points, phi I plus phi I plus 1 divided by 2. Whereas for the upwind scheme, for the advective term, means for this p phi, the phi here is interpolated only based on the upstream side. Okay. So for different schemes, we will have different averages, but it will be always some weighted average. Okay, for any scheme you take, it will be some weighted average in terms of Peclet number. You can go back and check that. Okay. So what we are going to write is, we are going to write this advective term as p into this phi. We will write as a weighted average of I and I plus 1. Okay, where the weight is alpha. Okay, so alpha into I, phi I means where alpha is between 0 and 1. So if alpha is 1, it means that the entire grid point value is driven by this phi I value. Okay, and alpha is grid point value is driven by phi I plus 1 value. So phi alpha phi I plus phi I plus 1. This is the weighted average of the phi value at the interface for the advective term. We can take different weights, remember, we can take different weights. For example, for the upwind scheme, the weight for the advective equation was dominant by the upstream side, but the weight for the diffusive equation was just the average of the two grid point values. Okay, so p phi alpha phi I plus 1 minus alpha phi I plus 1, and the diffusive term should be some difference, right? Because it depends on the gradient. So we can write this as beta phi I minus phi I plus 1. Okay, because the flux is in this direction, I am defining as phi I minus phi I plus 1 into some factor beta, which already takes into account all this delta x and gamma and everything. Okay, so within this, everything is present in the beta. Similarly, in the alpha, different things are present. Okay, so this is our advective and diffusive terms. Any questions up to this point? Is it clear to everyone? We have time today. You can ask questions. So let us continue. Otherwise, so then the total flux is J advective, J star advective plus J star diffusive in non-dimensional form. So you just add these two things. Okay, and phi I terms you take common, and phi I plus 1 you take common. So in the phi I terms, I have P into alpha plus beta. Okay, P into alpha plus beta into phi I. And in the phi I plus 1 terms, if I take negative sign, I have beta minus 1 P into 1 minus alpha. Okay, minus beta minus P 1 minus alpha phi I plus 1. So we can see that the overall J star is also a function of phi I and phi I plus 1, where I can write the weights as, say, B, okay, for phi I, where B is P alpha plus beta, and A for phi I plus 1, where A is beta minus P 1 minus alpha. Okay, so B is P alpha plus beta and A is B minus P 1 minus alpha, where you can check that B is a function of Peclet number P and A is also a function of Peclet number P. Some function of Peclet number P depends on what are the values of alpha and beta, which depends on different schemes. Okay, so after this point we will not be bothered with alpha and beta, because we can write gesture in terms of B and A. So if we can just, for different scheme, we can define what are the values of B and A, means what are the functions of B and A as functions of Peclet number, which should be fine. Okay, this is just for deriving, we are derived like this, but ultimately our aim was to find this equation that J star non-dimensional flux is a function of phi I and phi I plus 1 in the form B phi I minus A phi I plus 1, where the coefficients B and A are the different weights and depend on the Peclet number. So for example, if Peclet number is very high, B should have more weightage, means very high positive value, B should have more weightage, because this grid point value should dominate the interface value. Similarly, if the Peclet number is very high in the negative direction, A should have more weightage, because this grid point value should dominate this value. And this is true for all the schemes except for the central difference scheme, where these have equal weightages, right? But so for different schemes, B and A have different values. I have just summarized this, what I have just told you.
Sir, what is beta here?
What is? Sorry, can you repeat?
Beta, sir.
Beta is the weight when we write the diffusive term. So this diffusive term is like this, right? D phi dx by delta. Okay. So we can write this term in the form phi at I minus phi at I plus 1 into some factor. This x by delta, all the factor will be there. Gamma will also. Gamma is not there in the non-dimensional form. So x by delta factor will be there. So ultimately, the diffusive flux, okay, this diffusive flux here, J star diffusive, can be written as some parameter into phi I, means this difference phi I minus phi I plus 1, based on this. Okay, so beta is that parameter which takes into account all the other things, like if we multiply this phi I plus 1 by beta, we will get this diffusive term for this interface. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir. But beta isn't
Yes, sir.
to actually reduce its, like how we are taking pressure correction, like reducing the effect of pressure, or here in this case
So where
diffusion.
is pressure? There is no pressure here, right? This is
No, sir. When we are trying to, sir, like I was thinking that beta is actually taking into account like relaxation factor or type like
no,
that.
no, 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 nothing related to that. Okay, no, no, not relaxation factor, not at all. So what we are writing is, you just go, if you go step by step, what is J star? Rho P into phi. Okay. So how will you write this phi at the interface? Can you reply? How will you write the phi at the interface? So for central difference scheme, how will you write the phi at the interface?
So
For
phi I plus 1 by 2.
phi I plus phi I plus 1 by 2. Correct. Okay.
Half of
So
each.
if we write phi I plus phi I plus 1 by 2, what will be the value of alpha for the central difference scheme?
So 0.5.
0.5, right? Now for the upwind scheme is slightly tricky because you have to consider the direction, but say P is positive. Okay, if P is positive, how will you write the value of phi at this interface?
Phi I plus 1.
If P is positive, what will be the value of phi at the interface? Is it phi I or phi I plus 1?
So phi I plus 1.
Why phi I plus 1? Is he telling correct? What will be the direction of flow if P is positive?
So towards phi I plus 1.
Towards phi I plus 1. So which grid point value should dominate the interface value?
Phi I, sir.
Phi
Phi
I.
I.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. So upwind scheme, we assume that only one side is means giving the entire value, right? So what will be the value of this phi at the interface? Phi at the interface.
Phi I, sir.
Phi I. So what will be the value of alpha?
1, sir.
1, correct? So 1 into phi I plus 0 into phi I plus 1. Similarly, for all the other schemes also it can be derived, but it will be slightly complicated. You have to take maximum of 0 like this, slightly complicated terms will be there. Okay. But the ultimate thing that you see is for this term, I will come to the other term, but for this term is that whatever is the case, you can always write in terms of some alpha and 1 minus alpha. Okay. Means it is interpolated, interface value is interpolated in terms of the neighboring grid point values. Whatever is the scheme. For central difference scheme, the value of alpha is different, for upwind it is different, for hybrid scheme it is different, but it is always a function of this two neighboring grid points. Up to this point, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then now let us go to the difference. Okay, so d phi dx delta. Okay, so at the interface, if I want to find this value d phi dx by delta, what will be the value at the interface? How will I write this value at the interface of this derivative? D phi means the diffusive flux, non-dimensional diffusive flux. D phi by dx by delta. How will I write the value at the interface of this diffusive flux? Say again, you say central difference scheme. Okay. Or upwind, both, for both the diffusive term is taken similar way. How will you discretize? Because this delta is very small, derivatives I can write in terms of grid point values. So what will we do? This entire term is the flux, okay, minus d phi dx by delta. How will you write minus d phi dx by delta?
Phi I minus phi I plus 1.
Only that. That only gives the difference, right? D phi I minus phi I plus 1 divided
Yes,
by
x by delta is again 1 here.
x by delta is not 1. It is at the interface you are calculating, right? What is the value of x at the interface? If the interface is center point. From where does the x start? Where is the value of x equal to 0?
I, sir.
I. And where is the value of so at this point x is delta, right? I plus 1.
Yes, sir.
So at the value of x?
Delta by 2.
Delta by 2. So what will be the value of x by delta?
2. 1 by 2. 1 by 2.
1 by 2. Okay. Oh, sorry. Correct. Your point was valid. This is the value at x by delta. But when you are writing the difference, that point is correct. Valid. Phi I minus phi I plus 1. Because you have to take the entire length, right? For the difference.
Yes, sir. That was the thing that I.
Correct. So delta by delta, which is 1. Okay. This coming out as beta will come as what value?
1.
1. Okay, 1 into phi I minus phi I plus 1. But for other schemes, for upwind also it is 1 into phi I minus phi I plus 1. But for all the other schemes, you will see that the diffusive term is not interpolated straightforward like this, assuming central difference time, means assuming neighboring grid point values have equal contribution. Diffusive term goes inside the J value and in together we calculate the entire flux. So that means that it need not be exactly taken as, means the effect of diffusive term can be reduced also. Okay, it is in some way a weight factor what you are suggesting depending on the scheme, but yes, in some way it is a weight factor. It will depend on the scheme. Okay, now I understand your question, why you are calling it as a weight factor. Okay, for upwind and central difference scheme it is 1. For the say exponential and other schemes it will, so any scheme it can decrease, the value can decrease. Okay, depending on how much effect of diffusion you want to take. but this beta should be a variable because the effect of diffusion should not be equal at all Peclet number. Okay, so the effect of diffusion should be high at what value of Peclet number?
High at low value of
Low value of
Peclet
Peclet number. Okay, and it should be low at high value of Peclet number. So accordingly,
Yes.
the beta should be a function of Peclet number. Okay.
Okay.
So it is some function of Peclet number, you can assume. Okay, what is the function we don't know and we don't bother also. These are intermediate terms, and after interpolation, finally we get B and A, where B is in terms of beta and alpha. So now we don't need to find out what is alpha and beta. If we can find out what is B and A for a scheme, that itself is sufficient. These were just the intermediate steps. Okay. So ultimately the J star can be written as B phi I minus A phi I plus 1. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this B and A will be function of Peclet number. Okay. Because within this B and A, this alpha and beta are there, and both alpha and beta have different functions, which so alpha. So here already the Peclet number effect is there, and beta is already a function of P, which like gives the weightage of the diffusivity. So ultimately this B and A are some functions of Peclet number. Okay, it's P into alpha already is there, function of Peclet number for the B, and beta itself also a function of Peclet number. Okay, so for different schemes, B and A have different values. All these schemes can be represented in this form. Okay, so whatever scheme we have studied, and if you want to devise any other scheme also, you can devise the scheme and it can be represented in this form, where these functions of Peclet number. Okay, so here and we are dimensionless coefficients, that is also important. They are non-dimensional coefficients. Okay, just function of Peclet number, not dimensional, because we are solving in non-dimensional form. These are non-dimensional coefficients. The other thing is that A is associated. So A gives the effect of the grid point ahead of the interface. Whatever is the grid point ahead of the interface, A gives the value of that. Okay. And what is the effect of this previous grid point before the interface or in the backward direction from the interface? That value is given by, that effect is given by B. Okay. So A is associated with grid point ahead of the interface, while B is associated with grid point behind the interface. Okay. Interface, okay, A will be associated with this grid point and B will be associated with this grid point. So if I write in terms of P, E and W, okay, so for this east interface, A will be associated with the east interface, east grid point, and B will be associated with the Pth grid point. Similarly, for the west interface, A will be associated with the P grid point and B will be associated with the W grid point. Okay, these things it will become clear in a minute. Okay, so there are some additional features of very important features of this B and A. Okay, so the first important feature is that B and A are not independent. They can be written as B minus A equal to P. Take B minus A from this equation. So B was P alpha plus beta, right? B was P alpha plus beta, and A is beta minus P alpha minus 1. Beta minus P alpha minus 1. Okay. So B minus A, just take B minus A. So P alpha plus beta minus beta. So beta beta gets cancelled. Plus P minus P alpha. So P alpha also gets cancelled. You are left with P. Okay. So so the main important or the crux of this discussion is that if you know what is the value of A for any function, okay, if you know what is the value of A for any scheme, sorry, but if you know the value of A for any scheme, you can always find the value of B directly instead of trying to derive it, because B will be A plus P. Okay, whatever is the Peclet number at the interface, if I know what is the weightage of this downstream side, means weightage of I plus 1, means if I know what is A, I can find what is the weightage of the other side. What is B, I can find, because always B is equal to A plus P. Similarly, if you know what is B, you can find A. Okay, so only one of the values is needed. If you know what is the weightage of this ith grid point, you can directly calculate the weightage of I plus 1th grid point, because the weightage is B means B minus P. So A will be B minus P. Okay. So this is a very important feature because it means that we can reduce the schemes just to state the value of A instead of writing the value of both A and B, or trying to find the value of both A and B. If we can find the value of A for any scheme, that is sufficient for us. The second important feature is also very important, which states that B of P is equal to A of minus P and A of P is equal to B of minus P. This is slightly tricky to understand. Okay, what do we mean by B of P and B of minus P? Means what do we mean by some function of Peclet number positive and like so that function of minus P. Okay, so when we have discussed this Peclet number can be both negative and positive. Okay, the Peclet number can go from minus infinity to plus infinity. Whatever is the value, always B is equal to A plus P. Whether it is minus 10 or minus 2 or plus 3 or plus 7, it does not matter. B will, so if say A is some value like 1 plus P by 2, then B will be 1 plus P by 2 plus P by 2 plus P. Okay, so 1 plus 3P by 2, like this it can be, whatever is the value of P. Now the second feature tells us that B of P should be equal to A of minus P. So B is some expression of P. Okay, so if you are grasp it, let me show you what type of function can B become. Okay, so for example, for central difference scheme, B of P can be written as 1 plus P by 2 and A of P can be written as 1 minus P by 2. We'll derive this later today, but for this moment just assume that B of P is 1 plus P by 2, okay, and A of P is 1 minus P by 2. Again the relation is still there, right? B of P minus, so B minus A is again 1 plus P by 2 minus 1 minus P by 2, so P. Okay, so B of B is equal to 1 plus, so B of P means just that it is a function of P. So I can write B as 1 plus P by 2 and A as 1 minus P by 2. Okay, just remember this. So then it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, so in that case, if it is some function of P, okay, so it means that instead of P, if I write minus P now, okay, if I write minus P now, then whatever function I will get for A should be equal to the plus P function of B. Okay, whatever function I get for A should be equal to the plus P function of B. Again, if I go to the central difference scheme, we will derive it later today, but if I take a look at it, A is 1 minus P by 2. Okay, so for minus P, so A of minus P will be what? Can somebody tell, just because these are very simple, but I am asking to try to understand whether you are understanding or not, and because sufficient time is there. What is A of minus P? If A of P is 1 minus P by 2, then if I instead of P, if I take minus P, what will be the function of A? What will be the function A?
1 plus P by 2.
1 plus P by 2. So in that case, A of minus P is 1 plus P by 2, which is same as B of P, correct? Because B of P is 1 plus P by 2. And forget the east and west, okay? Just think about in terms of Peclet number. East was because we had calculated the east point, but if it is general Peclet number, A is 1 plus 1 minus P by 2, A of minus P is 1 plus P by 2, which is equal to B of P. Similarly, if I take B of minus P, what will be the value? What will be the function? B of P means function is written in terms of P, B is equal to 1 plus P by 2. If it is written in terms of minus P, what will be the function? Means instead of P, if I take minus P as the variable, instead of P, I will just have to replace the P by minus P, right? So it will become 1 minus P by 2, which is equal to A. Okay. So we see that for central difference scheme, this is true, but that is not the derivation. Actually, I am just showing the opposite way. Means central difference scheme is derived based on this relation. So let us try to understand how this is the case. So for this, we need to do a thought experiment. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to assume that there is a case with a certain Peclet number P. Means some flow is going on from one side to the other side, and the advective strength by the diffusive strength is given by the Peclet number P. Okay. Some value of Peclet numbers. It can be negative, but some value of Peclet. If say it is positive, okay. If we reverse the direction of the coordinate axis, okay, keeping everything same. If we reverse the direction of the coordinate axis, so if it is some flow of Peclet number P, before reversing the direction, how can I write J star? I will reduce the size so that the diagram also comes into the same picture. For this case, okay, there is some flow with certain Peclet number P. So how will I write J star in this normal case? It is already written here, right? B phi I minus A phi I plus 1. Where B and A are functions of Peclet number. Okay. So now, if I reverse the coordinate direction, if I have a new coordinate direction where x dash goes from the right side to the left side, okay, x dash goes from the right side to the left side. I have reversed the direction of the coordinate. What is now the backward grid point for this interface in the new coordinate system?
So I.
Backward coordinate is I or I plus 1. Means behind the grid point, behind the interface, what coordinate is? What
So
grid
I
point?
plus.
I plus 1, right? And the forward grid point is I, correct? So I can write the same equation now. What will be the flux? For this case, if I discretize with this new coordinate system, the flux always is in the direction of the coordinate system. So the flux in this direction, J star, can be written as some new B, right? Some new B into what variable will be there? B into
Phi I plus 1.
phi I plus 1. Why it will be phi I plus 1? It is correct.
So now the coordinates are reversed.
So in that case, so remember that B is always associated with the grid point which is behind the interface. So in this case, because I plus 1 is behind the interface, we will write B into phi I plus 1 minus A into phi I.
Phi I.
Is it clear to everyone? Or is there any doubt? B and A values will be different for these two cases. Okay, we will see how they are different. But we can write in the same form. But now I plus 1 is the grid point which is behind the interface, and I is the grid point which is ahead of the interface. So the terms will get interchanged. Okay. Now say B is some function of Peclet number and A is some function of Peclet number when we are doing for the positive direction. If Peclet number, we have certain Peclet number, say 3. Okay. What will be the Peclet number if the grid point, if the coordinate direction is reversed? What is the Peclet number in that reversed coordinate system? Because always we have to calculate the flux and Peclet number along the axis direction. So what is the Peclet number along the axis direction in the reverse grid system?
Minus P.
Minus 3, right? So if it is 3 in this direction, in the reverse grid, reversed coordinate axis, it is minus 3. In general, we can say that if the Peclet number is P, in the reversed coordinate direction, the Peclet number is minus P. Is it understandable? Is it correct? So assume that it is 10 in one direction. When you reverse the grid, flow is still going on in the same direction because physically flow cannot change, right? So flow and diffusion are still in the same direction, but your coordinate axis has changed. That does not mean that the physical problem is going to change. For any physical problem, I can take whatever arbitrary coordinate direction, right? So because the coordinate direction has changed, it does not mean that the physics is going to change. Flow is still going from left to right. But now in this reverse grid structure or reverse coordinate direction, my Peclet number will be minus 10 instead of plus 10 because along the direction of this new coordinate, along going from right to left, the flow is negative. Okay, so the Peclet number is minus 10. So in general, if the Peclet number is P in the direction, in this direction from left to right, If Peclet number in the other direction, we can consider it to be minus p if the axis changes. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, think about it. For those who are not clear. Okay, and in that case, this function when I write j star in the positive coordinate direction, j star is equal to b phi I minus a phi I plus 1. This b is a function of Peclet number and a is also a function of Peclet number p. Now when I reverse the coordinate direction, we write as some new b, okay, some b new phi I plus 1 minus a new phi I, okay, b new, because the weightage of b and a should change because now the coordinate direction has changed. So what should be the Peclet number when we reverse the grid? Instead of b as a function of p, if I write b as a function of minus p, that should be sufficient, right? Because the only thing that has changed is that Peclet number has changed the direction. Okay, means sign. So now b will become like b of minus p instead of b of p. Whatever was the format. See, b was 1 plus p. Now b will be 1 minus p. Okay, so b will become a function of minus p instead of plus p. And similarly, a will become a function of minus p instead of plus p. Okay, so if a was 1 minus p, now a will become 1 plus p. Okay, so in the reverse, when we reverse the coordinate direction, only thing that is changed is that sign of p has changed. So if we take b and a as functions of minus p, we should be, and if phi instead of phi I write phi I plus 1, and instead of phi I plus 1, if I take phi I, we will get the same flux, but in the negative direction. Okay. So using this thought experiment, which I have written here elaborately. So let us consider a case with a certain Peclet number p. If we reverse the direction of the coordinate axis, the grid point ahead of the interface has coefficient a and value phi I, also the Peclet number becomes equal to minus p. Okay, because you are reversing it, Peclet number becomes minus p. So with original direction, flux is b into phi I minus a into phi I plus 1. That is what we have written here, b into phi I minus a into phi I plus 1. Okay, so with reverse direction, flux is b of minus p into phi I plus 1 minus a of minus p into phi I. Okay, so because flux has to be same, so we can write this as b of p. B of p means it is a function of p. B of p into phi I minus a of p into phi I plus 1, which is the flux in the positive means in the right direction, is equal to negative of the flux in the left direction. So minus of this flux. Okay, b of minus p phi I plus 1 minus a of minus p phi I. Okay. So from this, if you just compare the terms, you will get that b of p is equal to a of minus p and a of p is equal to b of minus p. Physically also it can be understood easily. Okay, if you have to think deeply about this. So just changing the direction of the coordinate axis, the grids are just rotated, means now this is the behind grid point, this is the ahead grid point, and the flow is just changed from p to minus p. So same effect should be there, but instead of p, this will have the effect of minus p in terms of the coefficient, and this will have the like effect with respect to minus p. Okay, so if you are finding it difficult, you just try to think about this thought experiment, and you will find that b of p is equal to a of minus p and a of p is equal to b of minus p. What does it mean? If you can derive some function of a, okay, if you can derive some function for a, say a is equal to 1 plus p square. Okay, I'm just writing some arbitrary function. A is equal to 1 plus p square, or a is equal to 1 plus p square. Okay, some arbitrary function of a. A of p is equal to 1 plus p square. So what will be b? What will be the function b in that case? You write down on your notebook a is equal to 1 plus p square. So what will be b?
1 minus p plus p square.
1 minus p plus p square, correct. Because you have to just replace the p by minus p.
Minus p.
Correct. Okay. So 1 minus p plus p square. Similarly, if there is any function of b given, b is given as function of p, you can always get a. Okay. It can be any function. So how this a and b depends, that depends on different scheme. So I can derive a very awkward scheme, say very arbitrary scheme where the a value is 1 plus p square. Okay, in that case, we can find the B value also. What it also means is that if you can just find the positive values, like variation of P, because variation need not be constant, right? We have seen for hybrid case or for the power loss case. Just hold on for a minute. Something got stuck in my eye. Or the power law or the hybrid case, that for positive Peclet number, the variation is totally different as compared to the negative Peclet number. Positive Peclet number, the variation is one is of different type, and negative Peclet number, the variation is of different type. Similarly for upwind scheme also. Only for central difference, the positive and negative side have similar thing. Otherwise, it is different. So as a result, the functions also are different for the positive P side and negative P side. So we have to, when we write the function, I could have also written as, I will give a complicated example. Say if P, so I can write A as 1 plus P square if P is positive and A is equal to 1 plus P if P is negative. Okay, I'm just giving some arbitrary value. A is equal to 1 plus P square if P is positive, and A is equal to 1 plus P is if P is negative. Okay, you can write on your sheets. Okay, if you have your sheets ready with you, because I don't have that. I cannot write in the screen today. I don't have my pen for writing in the screen. Okay, so A is equal to 1 plus P square if P is greater than 0, and A is equal to 1 plus P if P is less than 0. This is after some derivation. This is the scheme we have derived. Okay. Now, what is the value of B in this case? How will you write the value of B in this case? A is 1 plus P square if P is greater than 0. Just hold on for a minute. I will just take this call, important call. Okay, can you still hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, if the case, you take your pen and paper and write it. Okay. A is 1 plus P square, or in the screen or wherever you can write, you write. A is equal to, or let me, I will use some document notepad or something here. This system is 5.5 years old laptop, so it takes a huge time to do anything in this one. A is equal to 1 plus P square. Okay. If P is greater than 0, A is equal to 1 plus P is less than 0. So this is one scheme. Okay. Say arbitrary scheme I have devised. A is equal to 1 plus P square. So how B in that case? Can we change the font size here? So slow, huh? I hope now it is visible. You can even change it more. This is better. What is the value of B? Based on today's discussion.
So 1 minus p for p greater than 0.
1 minus P?
For p greater than 0.
No. What do you have to do to find the values?
So
If
I
A,
replace p by
To
minus p.
place minus p in place of p.
you have to place minus P in place of P, and you don't have to do anything else, right? If you place minus P in place of P, what value you get? 1 minus P
Get,
plus P square, right?
get for two condition if p is greater than 0.
Greater than 0, and B is equal to 1
1
minus
minus p is less than 0.
P is less than 0. Okay. So if I know the values of A, I can get the values of B. Okay. Just by replacing them with minus P. Okay. And the other relation is also true. Okay. Is it coming in this case? Because the schemes are not devised correctly. We have devised arbitrary schemes. So these values are actually not correct. Means I cannot devise arbitrary scheme, because then B minus A has to be equal to P, which is not the case here, because I have derived it arbitrarily. Okay. So the correct scheme in this case would have been something like this. 0.5. I cannot just write something arbitrary, then it does not satisfy the condition. I have written something arbitrary. Because they have to be related with that B minus A equal to P also. Both the relations has to be satisfied. So in that case, now it is correct, huh? B minus, no, this should be minus, lot of complication. So A is 1 minus 0.5 P plus P square for P greater than 0, and 1 minus 0.5 P for P less than 0. B, we can just replace P by minus P to get the value of B. Okay. And also that relation also is true, that B minus A should be equal to P. Okay, so that also has to be true. So if I come back to this, if you only know the positive values of P, okay, if you only know for the variation of A for the positive values of P, okay, if you know the variation of A for the positive values of P, you will get the variation equation for the negative values of, like you will get the value of B for the negative values of P. Okay, you will get the value of B for the negative value of P. Okay, if you know the value of A for the positive value of P, you will get the, so you will get the equation for B for all the negative values of P. Okay, so once you get the equation for B for the negative values of P, you can just find the equation of for A for the negative values of A by using this expression, that A is equal to B minus P. Okay, A is equal to B minus P. Just by using that value, that parameter, you can find all the A values for the negative direction also. Okay, similarly all the B for the other direction. What I mean to say is that if you know the value of A or B for any side, means from say 0 to infinity, only the positive values of P, you can find the values of A for the negative direction as well as for B for both positive and negative direction based on the derivations that we have done. Okay, so everything can be defined if you can just find the function of A for the positive values of Peclet number. All the other directions can be defined. Okay, that is the crux, and this is true for the correct values. So I don't know whether it is, I have written this correct or not, because this is arbitrary. For actual scheme, this will be true, but I think it satisfies both the conditions are satisfied. Say if Peclet number is, okay, so For all positive values of A, I know the expression only. So only this is given to me. Okay, nothing else is given to me. Only this is given to me. Okay. Color also I cannot change. Oh, everything gets bold. Okay, anyway, only this is given to me. Okay, so I know that for positive values, 1 minus 0.5, 0.3 plus, sorry, not 0.3 into 3 plus 3 square. Okay, this is P. So I know only this expression, only the top expression. So only for positive values of P, I know the value. Okay, so in that case, I can find out.
Sir, that's A, right?
Correct.
Sir, you just wrote it as B. That's
I cannot hear you. Can you repeat? I could not understand.
So we are calculating value of A, right? Now
Hello,
for
A,
P.
and we only know this equation for the positive Peclet numbers. Means we don't even know this equation or these other equations also. Okay, we don't know this equation or any other equation also. Okay, so if the scheme is correct, may not be true for this, but if this is actual scheme based on this like discretization, like hybrid scheme or whatever, if you know this A value, you can always find the B value by taking. So how will you find the B for the positive direction? Only for the P greater than 0, I know the A values. So for P greater than 0, how will you find the B values?
Replace 3 by minus 3, no, then so.
Yes, just forget this, okay? Just take the general case. So I have the first equation. Nothing else is known to me. And this equation is valid only for P greater than 0. And for a certain scheme, it is given that, okay, A is equal to 1 minus 0.5 P plus P square if P is greater than 0. Okay. So I want to find B. Okay, I want to find B for P greater than 0. How will I find it? For P greater than 0, not for negative values of P.
So P minus A we can find.
A minus A plus P. A plus P. B is equal to A plus P.
A plus P. Sorry, sir.
Okay, so A plus P. This should give us the correct B. If I have not written correctly, it should come out as wrong. But in the actual scheme, this should be correct. This is the case. I think I've written it. Okay. Okay. Now, if this is the case, what should be the values for the negative direction? These are not true. Okay, these are not correct. These are not correctly defined. What will be the value for the negative direction of A? For P less than 0, what should be the values? Okay, forget the previous equation. Those arbitrary equations I had given, those are not correct. So I only had this equation, first equation for the scheme. From that, I have found that this B is also, I know what is the value of B if P is greater than 0. Okay. Now, how will I find the values for the expression of P less than 0? How will I find the expression of A for P less than 0?
From the first expression we have to find now. P for
First
P less
expression,
than
how will
0.
you find for P less than 0? Because this expression is only valid if P greater than 0. P less than 0, this expression is not valid because the form is different. I have shown, right? The form can be different. So from the first equation, if P is less than 0, I cannot use this equation because the expression may be different. In this case, it
So
is
we can
as same. Let me take some other example. Okay, let me take some other example. Then you will understand better. Okay. Let us remove this p square also. It is causing us confusion. Okay. I only know the value a is equal to 1 minus 0.7 p. For a certain scheme, a is equal to 1 minus 0.7 p. If p is greater than 0, I don't know what is the variation if p is less than 0. It can be quadratic, it can be exponential, it can be cubic, it can be whatever. But I know that it is linear if p is greater than 0. Now I want to find out the coefficients for a and b, means the coefficient a and b for all values of p, means whether p is greater than 0 or less than 0. I want to find out the variation of a and variation of b with this only this information. Okay. Let us start from the beginning again. So now what is the value of b for positive Peclet number? Quick.
A plus P.
A plus p. Okay. Any for any value of a, b is always a plus p. Whether it's positive, negative does not matter. Okay. So in this case, a plus p. So 1 minus 0.7 p plus p. So 1 plus 0.3 into p. Okay. This is our b. But this is only valid if p is greater than 0. Okay. It is not valid if p is less than 0 because we don't know whether the same expression is true for p less than 0 or not. So now how will I find the values of a and b for p less than 0?
Sir, A of minus P equals to B of P.
Correct. A of minus p is equal to b of p. Okay. So what is a of p then?
B of minus P.
A of minus p, right? So a for p less than 0, I can write a as, so
1 minus 0.3.
if, see, the thing is that if p is less than 0, so p is negative. So what is minus p? If p is less than 0, p is negative. What is minus p?
Positive.
Positive. So if p is positive, what is the expression of b?
One plus 0.3 p.
Yes, means if p is positive, we can derive the expression of b. We have already derived. So this is valid, right? For if p is positive. So a of p can be written as b of minus p. Okay. So instead of p, you have to write minus p. So this will become 1 minus 0.3 into p. Okay. 1 minus. So is this point clear? And this is only valid if less than 0. Okay. So if p is less than 0, this means that minus p is greater than 0. So for b of minus p, so if I use this equation, if I put minus p instead of p, then this expression is correct because p is negative, minus p is positive. So I can use this expression. So 1 plus 0.3 into minus p. So in that case, I get 1 minus 0.3 p. Okay. So a will be equal to 1 minus 0.3 p if p is less than 0. Okay. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, otherwise you try to think about it. Now only thing left is b at p less than 0. How will I find b at p less than 0?
A of minus P.
A of minus
A
p
plus
P. Or a plus p also I can use. Okay, any of the things. So it is a plus p. Okay. A plus p means what expression will I use for a here? If p is less than 0, I will use this expression, right? Not this one. So 1 minus 0.3 p plus p. So 1 minus 0.3 p plus p is equal to 1 plus 0.7 p.
But
So
sir,
p
if
is
we
equal to,
use B is equal to sir, if we use B is equal to A of minus P, then sir,
yes.
it will be become 1 plus 0.3.
If you use b is equal to, let us use
A minus P, what he
b is
told.
equal to
Yes.
a of minus p, right? Use this. So b for p less than 0, we want to find the value of b. So what is the value of minus p? Is it negative or positive? Minus p?
It will become positive.
Positive. So which expression of A we are going to use? The bottom one or top
P
one?
greater than 0.
Top
Greater than
This one we will use,
top
but
one.
we have to replace P by minus P. Okay. So it will become 1 minus 0.7. 1 minus 0.7 minus P. Okay. Which is equal to 1 plus 0.7 P. So either way it will be the same expression.
What
Because this-
expression we will use, that depends on P is after putting minus, positive or negative.
Correct, correct. Because for the flow, it depends on what is the actual Peclet number, right? So if P is negative, minus P will be positive. So you have to use the positive values of the expression, because this is valid for positive Peclet number. If you are confused, you try to take different variables like X for the positive side and Y for the negative side. Then you will understand this. But this is the relation, okay? So anything can be. So my main point, what is the main conclusion from this? Nikhilesh, can you answer? Why I have gone through all this pain to describe this? What is the advantage of knowing this?
not much idea, sir. Like we can see that all the
Say you
conditions
only
will
know for a scheme the value of A for the positive Peclet numbers. Only this much is known. Nothing else is known. Okay. Will you be able to derive all the coefficients A and B for any value of Peclet number?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is the advantage. Okay. Previously, how we were devising the equations? We were devising the equations. If you see, for some range of Peclet number, some function, for other range of Peclet number, some other function, for other range, some other function, for other range, some other function. Now, instead of going the full range, if you know what is the variation of Peclet number between 0 and positive infinity, okay, you will be able to define all the other coefficients, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is the advantage. So it means that now any of these schemes, I can just write the value of A for any of these schemes. Okay, if I can write the value of A for any of these schemes for positive value, all other things I can find out. Okay, so schemes can be defined in a concise manner by this function of A. Okay, this is the main advantage. So it will be clear with an example. So I have very less amount of time today. I have to go somewhere. So we'll quickly go through the example. Notes I will upload later on. Okay. Or today now itself let me upload, because otherwise I will not remember to. I will remember, but at home it will be difficult to upload. Notes is there, you just go through it before the next class. This is very important. Okay. So hence, if A of P is calculated for a scheme for only a positive values of P, entire range of A and B can be determined. This is the main significance or advantage of using this formulation. Okay. So now let us go to our standard notation. Let us go to our standard notation. So this is our grid structure, W, P and E. Already you know this, I am not repeating. Okay. So for this control volume P going from small west to small east, what will be the convection diffusion equation? I can write the convection diffusion equation in this form. d dx of rho u phi is equal to d dx gamma d phi dx, right? If I take that simple equation, I can write this equation. So d dx of rho u phi plus d dx gamma d phi dx, okay, for the same grid structure. So in terms of flux, how this can be written, where flux is rho u phi minus gamma d phi dx, I can just write this as dj dx equal to 0. And if I integrate for this control volume, I get J east is equal to J west. Okay. So this is same thing as written here, but in non-dimensional terms, J east star is equal to J west star. Okay. If I get this, and this is true because the non-dimensional flux should be equal at both the ends. Okay, J star should be equal because whatever flux is going from one side should go out from the other side because there is no source term. Okay, now what is J star? What is the value of just a second, let me keep it open.
J by gamma by delta xc, right?
Correct, correct. Assume that those distances are equal in this case. Okay. Otherwise, situation is more complicated. But assume that the distances are equal. Means all the grid points are equally spaced. Oh, this is the same thing that has opened. Huh? I want to open it 2 times. We look. I'm running out of time now. Let us open with Microsoft Edge. Okay. So for this east interface, how can we write the J value? We have already seen how to write these J values, right? So what is the value? Let me zoom it further. So J is written as B phi I minus A phi I plus 1. So for this east interface, what is phi I? East interface, what is phi I? Phi E or phi P? Quick.
Phi p, sir.
Phi P, because it's the backward direction. Okay. So for
Yes.
this, I can write this as B into phi P. Okay. B into phi P minus I plus 1 will be E, right? So minus A into phi E. B into phi P minus A into phi E. So because B and A are functions of Peclet number, we have to calculate for this interface Peclet number at this interface E, small e, right? So as a result, I am writing it as B as a function of P phi P minus A as a function of P phi E. This is clear for J star? Or is there any doubt? You have to respond. Yes.
No, sir, no, no.
Yes, sir.
Clear, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
same thing can be done for this west interface. So for west interface, what is I? Is W. Okay. So I will write B into phi I, which is B into phi W, minus A into phi P, because I plus 1 is the pth grid point now. Okay, in this side, because it is the on the direction of the flow. So not flow, sorry, on the direction of the coordinate axis. So B into phi W minus A into phi P, and for this B and A we have to take the functions as Peclet number for west interface. Okay, so it can be different, it can be same. In this case, 1D problem it should be same, but otherwise it can have been anything. So by writing this, I can write the final discretized equation by taking all the phi P, phi E and phi W terms together. So phi P terms comes to one side. So this B of Peclet number P plus A of Peclet number PW. So BP plus APW means if you have an expression of B in terms of P, say B is equal to 1 plus P, then I have to write for this case 1 plus P by PE. Okay. And if A is 1 minus P, I have to write 1 minus PW. Okay. So BPE plus APW phi P is equal to APE phi plus BPW phi W. This is our discretized scheme for the generalized equation. Okay. So this is the generalized, this is known as the generalized discretized scheme. And this is similar to AP phi P equal to AE phi plus AW phi W. Okay, where coefficients of phi is A, coefficient of phi W is B, calculated in terms of Peclet number at the west interface. Okay, and coefficient of phi P is B, calculated in terms of east interface, and A plus A calculated in terms of west interface. Okay, So this is only difference is that this is in non-dimensional form. Otherwise, everything is similar. Okay, and we can pass on these values to the solver to solve. Okay, so what is the main advantage of writing in this form? If you, for any scheme, if you know the value of A, okay, you can find out all the other values. Okay, if you know the Peclet number and other things, you can find out all the other coefficients. So you don't have to derive the coefficients. If you know the value of A, you can find out all the other coefficients just from the value of A. Okay, you don't have to derive the coefficients, and it will be clear with an example. Okay, quickly I will just go through the example. So we have previously derived A is equal to DE minus FE by 2. Okay, and AW is equal to DW plus FW by 2 for the central difference scheme. You can go back to your notes to check this. Okay, for the central difference scheme, this central difference scheme, and ultimately we have derived that A is equal to DE minus FE by 2 and AW is equal to DW plus FW by 2 and AP is equal to AE plus AW plus FE minus FW. Okay, same thing is written here, but in non-dimensional. Oh, okay, so I will go to non-dimensional form later, but let us just write here in dimensional form. A is equal to DE minus FE by 2, AW is DW plus FW by 2 and AP is equal to AE plus AW plus FE minus FW. This we have already derived. So in non-dimensional form, I can write the coefficient of phi E as AE by D, which is 1 minus. So D by D becomes 1 and FE by D becomes P. Okay, so 1 minus P by 2. So A of P is equal to 1 minus P by 2 because that is the coefficient of phi E, right? So A of P should be equal to 1 P by 2. Now B of P should be A of P plus P. So B of P should be 1 plus P by 2. Okay. So B of P is equal to 1 plus P by 2. So this term should be equal to 1 plus P by 2. Okay. Now similarly, A of PW I can write as, because A has the same expression, right? So A is equal to 1 minus PW by 2 and B of PW is equal to 1 plus PW by 2. Okay. So based on the same relations. Okay. So now the discretized equation can be written as BP plus APW phi P is equal to AP phi E plus BPW phi W. That's what we have derived now. Okay, which is already derived here. You have to write and you have to check and replace the values. So this becomes equal to 1 plus P by 2 plus 1 minus PW by 2. Okay, because A of PW is 1 minus PW by 2 into phi P is equal to 1 minus P by 2 phi plus 1 plus PW by 2 phi W. This is our central difference scheme. Okay, this is our central difference scheme. If you check the coefficients now, you will see that the coefficients are same as we have obtained previously also. So for example, for phi E, the coefficient was in dimensional form. What will be the coefficient? D minus FE by 2. Okay, so in non-dimensional form, it will be AE by D, which is 1 minus P by 2. So that is the coefficient that we are getting. Similarly, for phi W, it was DW plus FW by 2. In non-dimensional form, it will be AW by DW. So 1 plus PW by 2. So that is the term we are getting, and this is also similar to what we were getting. Okay, because we have derived in that way anyway. So it means that A of P for this central difference scheme can be written as 1 minus P by 2. And all the other variables can be found based on that. Okay, A of P is 1 minus P by 2 for positive values of P, and all the other things can be derived based on that. Okay. So for central difference scheme, A of P is equal to 1 minus. So A of P is 1 minus P by 2 for any value of P in this case for central difference, but for other schemes, it can be only for positive or negative. Okay. So if we know what is A, we can find out the entire discretized equation. You don't have to discretize and find it. If somebody says that A of P is 1 minus P by 2, you can find what should be the coefficient of phi E, because we know that it should be A of PE. So it will be 1 minus P by 2. Similarly, you can find what is the coefficient of phi w, because we know that it should be b into b of pw, and b is a plus p. Okay, so b will be a plus p, will be 1 minus p by 2 plus p, so 1 plus p by 2. Okay, so we know that b should be 1 plus p by 2, and for pw it should be 1 plus pw by 2, and automatically we see that it is 1 plus pw by 2. And then using the relation from here itself, you can directly bp plus apw, you can find out what will be the coefficient of phi p. So if we just know this term, that is sufficient for us to denote the entire central difference scheme. Okay, we can just replace the appropriate values and find this difference scheme. So I will just conclude this part today, and you go through it, and we will continue the discussion in the next class. So the in summary, we can write any scheme in a very compact form using the value of A of P. Okay, for central difference, we have found that it is 1 minus P by 2. You can check for all the other scheme. For upwind, it is 1 plus max of minus P by minus P comma 0. And similarly for exponential, hybrid and power law, there are some forms. Okay, so this A of P is only valid for the positive direction, but you can calculate for all the other directions based on similar what we have discussed. Okay, you just check whether you get same thing as the previous. We have already derived the coefficients for all the other cases. So whether this generalized scheme gives the same expression or not, you can just check. So central difference is 1 minus P by 2. Similarly, if I just remember that for upwind it is 1 plus max minus P comma 0, that is sufficient to define the entire upwind scheme. For exponential, if I remember that A is equal to P by e to the power P minus 1, that is sufficient for me to remember the entire exponential scheme. You don't have to remember these things, but that is what I am saying. So in that case, for exponential, if I replace this, I will get finally the same discretized equation like this, just based on remembering that A is equal to P by e to the power P minus 1. Okay, you check that case for central for exponential and other cases. So I will stop here today, and we will meet on Tuesday, next Tuesday, and I will download the attendance to save time. But why is that attendance not showing here? Otherwise I have to take it. Oh, it will be shown here. So think about these cases, and if there are any questions, ask me in the next class. Okay, we'll stop the recording.